What is going on, guys? HappiDaze here. In today's video, we're talking about the new free-to-play Whitebeard unit that is coming as part of the PK adventures for this month. Before we hop to the unit, just a quick programming note. The PK runs, it's already started and will run through the 28th of January. You'll be getting double the amount of copies of Whitebeard, and the reason for that is because this Whitebeard is getting a super evolution that will be a different character. So it's important that you keep two of these characters and max out them as much as you can through the clears of doing the PK this month. And it's highly recommended that you do all the clear missions. That way you can have two LLB5 Whitebeards when all is said and done. Before we hop into the unit itself, just a quick shout out to Shiro, who runs the OPTC New Unit Info Twitter, which you can see here on the screen. He does a great job at condensing the new units and legends into nice infographics, which kind of make it easy to see if the unit is good or bad. So we'll be following along that today. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it. So this Whitebeard is a quick striker slasher, which is always good to see. Obviously, he will synergize very well with the new batch that are coming out for New Year's. For his captain ability, he reduces the cooldown of the crew by 1, so cooldown's always great. And then boosts the striker and slasher's attack by 4 times if HP is 50% or below, otherwise 3.5, and then boosts their HP by 1.5 and makes their dex orbs matching. So very similar to some of his other incarnations in terms of the HP thresholds to get certain conditions there. He doesn't have much in his captain ability. Outside of the attack and HP, he does get Dex Orbs matching, which is usually a sailor ability for these type of units. But it would have been nice if they had some other utility in his captain ability. But it's a free-to-play unit, so they're not going to make it too good there. In terms of his special, he cuts the crew's current HP by 50%, reduces all enemies' barriers by 1, and reduces burn by 5. So the reduced enemy barrier is actually really good. There's not very many rare recruits who can actually do that. So I know, like in the last batch with Momonosuke, we had Okiku and Otoko who could do that. We had a hack that could do that. I think there was also a Dex Mihawk that could do that, but there's not very many rare recruits who can actually remove barriers. So that's actually good that we're actually getting a unit that will be able to do that. And I'd anticipate that in the upcoming treasure map, there will be a boss where this will come into play, where you have to either remove 1 or 2 barriers, and you'll want to have this guy to be able to go ahead and do that. There are some legends that reduce barriers, like you had Nami and Karina, you had Robin and Koala, but like I said, the reduce all enemy barrier buff is not one that you see often, so it's great that this unit has it, and it's a free-to-play unit. The burn by 5 is good, and then you have 2 conditional parts of his special as well. So if the character's orb is T and D, or tandem when the special is launched, it applies increased damage taken. It doesn't do it through immunity, which is the only down part. So if the enemy is immune to that, then this part is kind of null. In terms of the super tandem condition that's there, obviously he will pair well with the new Zoro Sanji, who in their switchability can change adjacent orbs to tandem. And so I see that this might be, a good case where they are used to do that. And then if the captain's a striker or slasher class, it sets a chain multiplier minimum at 2.75 and maximum at 40 for 2 turns. So it's not bad. I think most legends or more rare characters that you see have that multiplier minimum starting in the 3 range. And what you typically see is that it's usually this chain boundary plus also another action, right? It might be, base stats or an attack boost. It's usually something else. It's usually not just the chain boundary actions. So not too surprising. Like I said, it's a free-to-play unit. Bandai's not going to give you everything here. So no surprise there that it's conditional and you just get that chain boundary for 2 turns. In terms of his super tandem, what's good is you only need 1 of his crew, which is fantastic, and it applies attack boost or tandem orbs of 1.5 times to striker and such characters for 1 turn. Like I said, the multiplier is a little bit low. Usually in most cases, you're seeing 2.25, 2.5 for some of these attack boosts. So it is a little bit on the low side, but it's like, again, it's a free-to-play unit, so it's tough to complain. It's not terrible, and the fact that it only takes 1 of his crew unit to activate is actually really good and really helpful. In terms of sailor abilities, he gets plus 60 base attack to the striker and slashers, which is just whatever. He uses crew's burn by 1, which is kind of nifty. And the self-immune to stun. So this one is actually very interesting. I think there's only 2 or 3 other units that actually do this, if I remember correctly. So I know the new Luffy, Law, and Kid that came out, the unit that had all 3 of them was able to do that. I believe there was one of the Kawamatsu units that was able to do this as well, and one of the Zoro units, one of the Legend Zoro units, I don't remember if it was the Anniversary Zoro or, but one of the Dex Zoros was able to do this as well. So it's a super rare sailor ability to be able to do. So it's really cool that he got that ability. And then in terms of his support, just a base stat support, nothing kind of too special there. In terms of his Rumble ability, so I'll be honest, most of these free-to-play units that you get, you'll never use in Rumble. They're just, unfortunately, just not good. And it's the same case with Whitebeard here, but basically on a 26 cooldown, he'll target himself for a 40% HP cut, and then he targets striker teammates for attack up, crit up, and yeah, he just does level 4 attack up and level 3 crit up for 22 seconds, which just isn't great. And then he does just a really low damage output with 1 high current HP enemy for 2.6 times his damage. So, like I said, his special is really not great. Nothing to write home about. You won't use this guy in PvP. His base stats for Rumble, he'll get striker teammates attack up 5, speed up 4, and then when your HP is below a threshold, you'll get a self attack up level 5. So if they maybe would have added like a defense to this, he probably would have been a little bit better. But like I said, it's just attack and speed aren't going to change the meta of defense and being able to kind of withstand things like bursts and things like that. So, yeah, you're not going to see this guy used at all in Pirate Rumble or in Grand Party. It just kind of is what it is. So that's a quick rundown of what the new free-to-play Whitebeard does. He's overall not that bad of a unit. Like I said, it's tough to complain that he's free, and the fact that he's getting a super evolution through the next treasure map that we have just means that he's just going to get probably that much better. You will probably have to use him and his alternate version for one of the TM bosses, so just make sure that you do get a copy and at least max out his super tandem and his probably a slot bind as well with the units that you're getting from the PK adventures. So with that, I'm wrapping it up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, be kind to each other. Thanks, guys.